Hey everybody, this is Perch, and a couple weeks ago, or more than that, about a month ago, anyway, Batman Urban Legends, the comic that is a bit of an anthology. It has a few things. It's got Grifter in there, it's got Batgirls in there, or Batwomen, which is the Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain, and now the same character who's playing Batwoman in the CW show is in there too. Anyway, Batman Urban Legends. Number 4 featured Tim Drake by Megan Fitzmartin, Belén Ortega, Alejandro Sanchez, and basically in that story, Tim Drake finds himself at a bit of a crossroads, and that he's troubled. He's not sure what to do. He's wanting to catch up with an old friend, Bernard. Bernard being a character from, I believe, Bill Willingham when he was doing that book. Way back. I mean, we're talking, I think, 20 years now, where Robin was basically had his own title, Tim Drake Robin, and Bernard was a character in that book. And Tim Drake was going to meet up Bernard for the first time in a long time. He's broken up with Stephanie Brown, with spoiler, and he gets his buddy gets attacked. And the entire first issue is very awkward. Tim Drake is they're hinting heavily. With a lot of like ... in his inner monologue, like it feels like it's been years, but he still looks ... He looks ... Anyway, people were wondering if this was speculating that Tim Drake was about to be revealed as gay or bisexual. He had just exited a relationship with spoilers, so anyway, one of the others. So they hug, they chat, and all the rest, and it certainly seemed like it was heading that way. And I did a video saying, I didn't think it was. It sounded like they were heavily implying that he had feelings for Bernard, but I also noted that this made very little sense if you've read those comics with Bernard. It goes against both characters and kind of everything they've been into. Anyway, we had Batman Urban Legends number 5 last week, and it continued to be, to push. Basically, they had some kind of, awkward moments. Tim Drake is suddenly completely ignoring his ex-girlfriend and everything else, and and they also go into, again, a bit of a retcon of Bernard's parents, that his parents didn't like him hanging out with that Tim Drake boy, that they wanted a better life, or a certain life, and so all these things going on. But this is a 3-part story, and we're about to get Batman Urban Legends number 6. And it apparently, from what is being reported, they will definitively state that Tim Drake is bisexual, and that he is, how Bernard fits into all this, who knows? But definitely they're going to go for it. So as a follow up to that story, Tim Drake embrace a brand new chapter of his life, but they are coding this, and they are promoting it into various places that they will officially state Tim Drake is bisexual. So that's the answer to that question back then of what's going on with old Tim Drake. Again, my issue with it is heavily in the fact that it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. And maybe part of the problem is that they're using this Bernard character. Now, granted, nobody knows Bernard. It was a bit character in a series quite some time ago that I suspect many of the comic audience that will get excited about this, particularly on social media, didn't even know existed. But because if you read those comics, it's like none of these characters sound at all or behaving at all like how they originally were. But perhaps, not ominously, but DC has also started to push, along with some of the media outlets they tend to collaborate with, the idea that Tim Drake is the best Robin. And I always hate when they do this, especially when you have multiple characters who've been part of a legacy, whether it's Captain America or Iron Man, or Green Lantern. They like to throw in the this one is the best one of them all. So they've been pushing very heavily that Tim Drake is the best Robin, and with the best version of that character. And so now that gets to kind of coalesce or sit next to them announcing that Tim Drake is again bisexual. So it is what it is. There you go. I don't know that I care personally. I think some people definitely will. I think there will be the predictable articles are already written. I mean, I guarantee you there's some sites that have already written the angry dude bros, go into fits of outrage over Tim Drake, now canon bisexual. And they've already written the article. Like, regardless of what happens, it's ready to go. Because that's all part of the game of comics now. And that just, I guess that's the part that bugs me about it, is that it all will feel, it will feed a very predictable chain of events that I, for one, am extremely sick of personally. Your mileage may vary, but I'm just, it's been done so much. It's not subverting expectations. It is expectations. It's expectations that we're going to kind of retcon some stuff that was done in the past. We're going to shove it into, in this case, an anthology book. I mean, if this is a major point in Robin's life, why is it story 2 of 3 in a Batman Urban Legends book that doesn't even carry his name on? I don't know. Does that stuff bother you? To me, it all feels like a big bunch of nonsense. But anyway, so that's going on. Apparently, if you're in comics today, what we have to be talking about the He-Man show or about this Emilia Clarke Mother of Madness comic. And I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people get really outraged about Emilia Clarke, Mother of Madness, for being a angrily feminist book. I mean, how is this different from the Man-Eaters book that Chelsea Kane did? That was the first thing that struck me. Is it kind of was using the same humor, the same breaking of the fourth wall, the same kind of tropes as that book. And so, I mean, is Chelsea Kane gonna sue Emilia Clarke now? Along with that, people who are stands of Emilia Clarke are going nuts on social media with anybody who dares to insult the book. But the book looks patently ridiculous at different times. So, I mean, what are you going to do? And when did the woman who played Daenerys and starred in an absolutely forgettable and terrible Terminator film, why are we supposed to praise comic book writing skills from, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that book, I can't get very angry about. I read it. It was just, I don't know. To me, it felt like it was a cheap copy of Man-Eaters. And I didn't particularly like Man-Eaters. So this was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here reading this. As for He-Man, He-Man released on Netflix today. Masters of the Universe, Revelations. Doesn't actually have He-Man in the title. And it is basically, spoilers, it's a 5-part series that focuses on Teela. And Teela's angry and feels betrayed for it. It takes, to me, the least interesting part of the He-Man cartoon. Now, I want to admit here, I was not a big He-Man fan. To me, those were the toys that I always thought were kind of lame. I was definitely into the Star Wars toys, the G.I. Joe toys, Transformers. He-Man was always like the toy I didn't want. I could never get rid of all the body types are the same, whether they're villains or heroes. It's just, I never enjoyed them. And I always thought the cartoon was fairly stupid, and I always wondered, like, why does every cartoon have to have a moron bit character, whether it be it Orko or the Wonder Twins or, I don't know, earlier in the Justice League, that dog and the brother and sister combo that they got rid of? Did they just die in an explosion? I have to, Wendy and, well, I don't know. Anyway, who knows? There's always some idiot character in these cartoons, and I always hated that stuff. So I wasn't a big fan of the Masters of the Universe. I checked out the first episode, and it felt very. It felt like they were trying to defy expectations by swerving. And I'm noticing a lot of the articles are saying, they completely unended the universe. But the idea of we're going to subvert expectations by killing off the main character and have it be a big secret and turn everything on its ear, I don't care. That's no longer subverting expectations because so many shows do it that who cares is kind of my take on it. I mean, so is it an entertaining cartoon? I don't know. I like Rick and Morty. I'm I'll just stop there. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. There's so many good shows to watch, so much good anime out there. To watch yet another kind of more grim take on a nostalgic franchise that tries to promote. I mean, again, the least interesting part of He-Man was the secret identity of Prince Adam. That was the least interesting part of the whole thing. You have this entire world with monsters and mythology and Skeletor running around, all this kind of stuff, and the cheap Clark Kent / Superman type Secret Identity was the stupidest one. And so to have that be such a focus of this new series of like, Tila feels betrayed that they didn't let her in on the secret. It's like, I mean, who cares? For me. Anyway, what a time. What a time to be alive. Anyway, that's the news. Tim Drake, apparently, definitely they're all in bisexual. And, and Emilia Clarke's writing comics and He-Man's on Netflix, and it is what it is. What about you? Any of these excite you? Are you super into any of them? If you are, good. Again, just because I don't like something, I hope somebody does. I mean, God, what a waste if nobody likes this stuff. I'm sure there's somebody out there who likes it. So, let me know in the comments below what you like about all this stuff. And thanks for listening.